Here's Neptune Cat, our lovely furball, who is helping me numerous times throughout. So I've already started here. I've already started on the embroidery before I started filming. So I've got the outline of this fabulous sea blob. Neptune. Going after that embroidery floss, of course. Right now, really just getting my bearings, my first attempts here at stitches as I start to make this sea blob's glasses. And boy, do I need to moisturize. This mountain air is very dry. Here I'm just drawing on or redrawing on the rest of the embroidery. It kind of rubs off as I'm working on it, so just getting my bearings again. Even though I wasn't quite ready to be working in those areas. Just filling in the main blob body. And this is real broad strokes. I mean, I clearly don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to cover the surface area in this lilac purple. And I had so much judgment of myself when I first started, which is silly because, I mean, it's the first time I'm embroidering something, so what sort of perfection am I expecting? But I think as time goes on, you just keep adding to it. And I did have a shift in my perception of it. It became much more playful to work on, to see. And you can see as the light has shifted a couple times, I'm working on it throughout the day and night when I have a few moments here and there. So it's definitely not all in one go. And just having those pauses in between working on it allows me to appreciate the whole process and just take a moment, a step back and say, oh, this blob's kind of cute. This little monster fish. See here, I've already rubbed it off, already rubbed off the pencil there, so I have to redraw on the little fins. And thus far I've mostly just done a stitch, a regular whole straight stitch in whatever direction. There's nothing going on in particular. But I had my little handy dandy book of embroidery stitches to look at, which was very helpful as I actually do start to incorporate other types of stitches in, like this one, which is really just including different lengths of stitches. Again, still just random, but creating that little fin effect, which is the direction of the stitches. AKA, I don't know what I'm doing, so just do whatever you want. There's no wrong. I'm finding. You just make it up as you go. And then you learn from people that have done it before and actually know some stitches. And I hope I learned from this not to judge myself so harshly when I'm trying something new. Because I thought, why am I doing this? Why this blobfish? So many whys. Oh, here comes the new stitch. And it actually really doesn't matter why. It's fun. And as you go, you just learn. So why bother, with any self-judgment in this very, very low stakes situation? But I see all these just absolutely stunning and gorgeous embroidery pieces, and why one would compare themselves when they're starting. If it was anyone else, of course I would say that's very silly. But when it's me, oh, those little thumpers from Neptune. She's checking my work. So you can see this little seaweed tendrils, the sea kelp. I've actually got 2 stitches in there. Oh, then Neptune decides to drape herself across my workspace because she can. Oh, the luxury of being a cat. I've got a little sprig of tree there to remind me of nature and where I'm headed. Because there's a lot of things I want to try new in my life. Building a tiny house one day. Starting a regenerative farm. Planting native plants. And so on and so forth, So embroidery is really the least. It's a small new thing, but it's getting me in the habit of trying new things. And that is important for me. Oh, and how cozy can you get with a little cat? If you've got a cat embroidering along with you, let me know. This little sea blob is taking shape. And I believe there's a kelp forest, a sea kelp, that is the fastest growing organism in the planet. I think it can grow 3 feet. Oh, no, I'm making it up. In a day, in a week, in a very short period of time, it can grow about 3 feet, this kelp forest, which I thought is amazing. I love these little flowerets with the 3 spins around the needle and coming back through. If you hear the shifting, it's my chair I'm sitting in. Boop. There we go. Neptune's still cozied in there. Yes, she is. Right, so now working through this feather stitch, you can see I've done about 2/3 of the fish already. Trying to give it, even though it's a feather stitch, it looks like scales too when you put it together. So I was adding these for texture in the purple, and I really liked it, but I felt it was almost too subtle and you couldn't see it. Although when I look back at the footage, I feel like it is enough. But at the time I felt it needed a little more pop. So I added blue and basically went over the whole Ms. Blob fish again in the blue feather stitches for scales. Because she's a shimmery fish. Neptune. I must have just picked out all the little clips with Neptune in it because look at those thumpers. I mean, embroidery, very cozy. Embroidery with a cat. Oh, yeah. Oh, and this was another little stitch I wanted to try. Just to add a little zhuzh on the, I wanted to say wings, but on the fins of the fish. Just as a little accent. My first time doing this stitch, and oh, I guess it's my second. I had already done it on the other fin, but Neptune was making me rise to the challenge. We're almost there, just adding some more sea kelp. This one, she's kind of holding it in her little fin. Et voila. And adding a pin to the back. It was very messy with the hot glue. Oh my gosh, haven't used hot glue in a long time. So then I sewed a little back, just hemming up the fabric. I did the whole embroidery on linen, then with embroidery floss. So I just sewed that to have a neat hem, then hot glued that onto the back to cover up all those jagged edges there, so I had a flat surface, flat-ish, to affix the pin on the back. See, that hot glue gun has seen better days. And there she is, Ms. Sea Blob. Until next time. Hey, if you've ever wanted to try embroidery and are a beginner, embroider along, because I am definitely a beginner in this. And I'm just excited to be able to learn, new stitches while I was working on it. And I love how just starting something new, doing something new is a transformative process. Not only are you just the transformation of learning, but there's a whole new world of things that opens up when you do that. So it's very fun to explore.